Friends, welcome to episode 19, Target Rich Environment. You know the show, or if you don't, I don't know how you got here. I don't really feel like doing an intro today, but I wanted to congratulate all of the members of the cast. Dave has his new tattoo, which I'm sure he'll peacock at us. James received an offer he didn't want to refuse. Spoon was stabbed, and Pondo remembered what fun is. So it's been a big week for everybody. I'm just gonna let whoever wants to go first go first. Thanks for that resub, by the way, chat.
No worries.
It's you, Grim Dark James. I didn't see a name pop up. I should have known it was you.
Arthur's own cast members trolling him, as per usual.
How dare you give me money?
Well, I give money to Twitch, and Twitch gives a small portion of it to Arthur. I think
that's okay. You give money on Patreon, which gives me a much larger portion. All right. Since no one wants to step forward, James, you have to go.
I nominated Pondo.
No, we're gonna go with Dave because he should. The last one into the class. There
you go.
Gets all the attention.
Yeah. Pretty sure that was Pondo, but all right, that's fine.
You're the one who just got a drink.
Shit. All right. Okay. So hey everyone. Yeah, lots happened. Like Arthur said, on Wednesday, I went for a 4-hour drive in one direction, and I went and got my new tattoo. Well, we went there, and the guy was like, "Oh yeah, it'll be one more session. Just 8 hours. We'll be done." Like, sweet. That sounds great. And by done, I mean like my entire arm will be done. I was like, okay, sure. The guy's fast and he's good, so maybe he can get it done. We start going, and so okay, this is also 2 days after my first vaccine shot. Okay, so I wanna put that out there. So it's 2 days after my first vaccine shot. So the guy starts tattooing, and I'm bleeding a lot. Pretty unusual. And he's like, okay. Well, whatever, we'll keep going. So we get in there, and after about 6 hours of tattoo work, he's not even halfway done through half of it. So he hasn't done a quarter of it. And I was like, man, there's no way you're going to get it done like within this session. He's like, probably not. So I'll just finish the dragon, whatever. And in case you're wondering, it's just a dragon on my sleeve. It's like to replace 2 tattoos that are there. So there used to be a wolf here and a sun here or whatever, and they're being replaced. But anyway, so he gets halfway through the dragon, and I start to feel really, really bad, like really, really, really bad. And I was like, man, something's going wrong. And apparently, because I don't remember any of this, my wife was there, and she said that it was the most scared she's ever been in her life, because I go from being my charming self to completely unconscious, sweating profusely, and all of the color draining out of my entire body. And I passed out for like 5.5 minutes when I was getting this tattoo done. And I woke up again, and I was like, oh, whew, that was weird. And everyone's just like, are you okay? You okay? I'm like, yes, I'm fine. So, we go back to start doing the tattoo again.
That's sensible.
Yeah, sensible. But I was just basically like, because I also hadn't eaten anything that day, because I don't like to, eat and then have to like travel for 4 hours in one direction and sit on a bench for so long. So I was like, I'll just have some light breakfast or whatever, and then like an hour and a half later, I pass out again. Right? Same thing happens. Start sweating a lot. Pass out. It wasn't as long as time. It was like 40 seconds or something like that. And it turns out they called a nurse just to be sure. It turns out it's like, oh yeah, no, don't get a tattoo after you get a vaccine injection. Don't do it. Because apparently it like the vaccine just like fucks up your immune system, and then when you start getting like new shit put into your body with
when you start introducing ink.
Apparently it like fucks a lot of things up, and I was like, oh man, okay, whatever. So the guy's like, okay, it's not threatening or anything like that. Just eat something really greasy or whatever, and you'll be fine. So I eat a fucking burger, and we go back to doing it. This entire part right here, from about here all the way down to here, took the guy 11 and a half hours to do. So the drive up was 4 hours. We get there at 10 a.m. We go for 11 hours, like straight, outside of the 5 minutes that I, passed out. And then he finishes, and he's like, okay, come back in like a month and we'll finish the rest. And I'm like, okay, that sounds fun. So then we drive 4 hours back, and that was my day. We left at 6 a.m. in the morning. We got back 1 a.m. the next day. And I have never had anything like that happen to me before in my entire life. I just wanted to share, so I thought that was it. So. Also, if anyone's wondering why I have my arms out right now, it's because I'm literally, like, the entire thing is healing, and it's like, have you ever like scratched an elbow before and you scab up after that? That's what happens when you get a tattoo. Literally, the entire thing is scabbing over right now, and it is very painful, and you literally can't touch it, because the thing with the color in a tattoo is when it's scabbing, if the scab falls off, there's a good chance it will take a lot of the color with it. So you need to let it like heal into the skin essentially, or naturally fall off. So wearing clothing irritates it a lot, and you don't want that. So yeah, I'm gonna be not wearing clothes for a long time.
Do you have some sort of topical balm or oil that can relieve the pain without damaging it?
So basically there are like tattoo moisturizers you can get, which I'm using, and 3 times a day I have to use gray soap on it, which is a new experience, because normally what happens is when you get a tattoo, I don't wash it with soap or anything for like a month essentially. But apparently gray soap, it's what you use on babies, so apparently that's what you use. It's a new thing. Never heard of it. But I mean, gray soap's not new, but I've never heard of using it on a tattoo. But the guy swears up and down that that's what you need to do. I've been doing that, and it's healing quite quickly. So yeah.
Nice. Well done, Dave. Very proud of you for your brave little soldier.
Which vaccine did you get? Did you get a 2-shot or a 1-shot?
2-shot. And I'm getting the Modena.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was because he said come back in a month, and I said, oh, that's about when you're gonna get your second vaccine shot. So maybe
we planned it for like 15 days post.
There you go. Okay.
Second vaccine shot. So we're getting the vaccine on the 15th of May, or 14th of May, and we're getting the next tattoo on the 27th of May. So more than
that'll do it.
New companies getting close to being set up. We got it approved by the financier and the bank, so yay. That'll be fun. I'm also being forced into the CEO position. I now know how James feels, so that'll be fun. And what else? Yeah, I don't know. I haven't really had any. Board game that I ordered 4 years ago showed up yesterday randomly from Kickstarter. I completely forgotten about it. It was a nice surprise. Apparently the Kickstarter went so well because I paid for it and then I never checked it again, right? Back when I was making ludicrous amounts of money and I didn't have to worry about home loans or anything like that. And apparently it showed up in this massive box, and it had like 3 expansions for free thrown in. So there's all this like just shit that showed up, and I can honestly completely forgotten I got it. It's, if anyone's interested, the game is called Sleeping Gods. It's like a I was for a while there. I was on a Gloomhaven choose your own adventure co-op style kick, and it's kind of in a similar vein to that. And the guy that makes that makes a lot of sort of cooperative, story-driven, GM-less D&D style experiences. So
remind me, AP,
is.
after the stream to tell you about my cool news with the BattleTech clan Kickstarter. I don't want to say it on stream because it's dodgy news, but it's good news. But I'll tell you about it afterwards.
Okay.
Secret squirrel stuff. Hush, hush.
You're not allowed to know, chat. Fuck you.
I'll tell Arthur's highest Patreon tier.
You are the highest Patreon tier. You want me to go get the other guy? I can get Mark if you need.
Well, you got more than 2 seats for it, don't you?
No, there's 2.
But I mean, how many spots did you have for the highest
2.
Patreon tier on it? Only 2. Okay, no worries. Okay.
That was the
Apparently
number
you're one
of
them.
that was the number of monthly games I felt I could conceivably run on top of
Okay, no worries.
a 4-show schedule.
Yep.
What the heck, man? Really? You do too much for so little, Arthur. You know that, right?
Yes, today has been looking at doing too much for so little. I'm gonna pass it by. I said I wasn't gonna do an intro, but you know who will do an intro? Big Spoon.
I will do an intro. That's true. So I got my second vaccine shot today.
Hey.
Yeah. Feeling pretty good. Arms a little sore, a little tired, but other than that, I think I'm doing all right.
How many random strangers have you hugged now?
So I got the Pfizer vaccine and 0.
So does that make your arm heavy when you get it as well, or what's the deal there?
No, not really. Like I did have a little bit of pain and soreness at the injection, on the shoulder where they injected it, but that's mostly gone away. Yeah, so I am fully vaccinated and protected, and I got the telepathic 5G now. So.
Oh, mate, let me tell you, there were so many fucking jokes for that 5G shit. Like, the timing on those jokes are great too. It's like, oh, my phone or my internet's down, and then someone will slap your arm, and then the 5G, and then the 4G on your phone turns back on. It's like, oh man, it must be working.
Yeah.
Or my favorite one that people keep drilling me on is like, how many Microsoft products have you purchased since?
Yeah. So yeah, and then had a really fun match of Solaris Knights this week. That was I got bamboozled. I was very surprised.
So I haven't watched it yet. I haven't watched it yet, but I did see it was like, Seth versus Unknown, and then like when I moused over it, the thumbnail image that swapped. That's definitely one I want to watch based upon what I saw there. So
yeah, it's a little let's just say it's not what was expected, basically. But no, it was a lot of fun.
It seems like it was expected. Not the part you're probably talking about. The part of
yeah,
the other part at the end.
Sure. But yeah, so that was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to my next match with my duos match with Kane Damiel and Kyle Morgan. So that's going to be got some good stuff coming up. So I'm excited for that. That's pretty much it.
All right, Pondo, what do you got?
Nothing much. Purchased 7 Days to Die for me and Cotton.
It's on sale right now for $7.47 or something like that. So
I think for the next couple of days.
That's going to be the next game after Empyrean in 30-something days.
Are you playing on the experimental?
I don't know what that means. Probably not.
So the experimental is the one that has all the good shit. All of the good stuff. I would highly recommend, if you're going to play 7 Days to Die, is that you enable the beta tree and you fucking opt into that shit, because it is way better than the base game.
I think the other issue is that
I mean,
the way
I would have to figure out how to do that for the dedicated server, and then everyone else who
You
plays
just turn it on. Just turn it on.
I don't know how to do that, is the thing. And then it would force everybody else to also do that. I think we'll probably just do like a regular game to start with. See how we like it.
No, this was 2 years ago. I don't know if they've caught up or they're the same build now. I'll have to look into it, but
I think the other issue is that the way it's set up, it's hard to do a 24/7 server with it because of the way it's set up.
yeah, you have to make it so that like they can be very aggressive, I will say.
So
Especially on a blood moon.
we definitely have Europeans who play, so they'll cover our stuff, maybe, or they'll try to kill us and raid us while we're offline. The thing that I know about 7 Days to Die is that I logged in, I had 20 minutes, and I played with Cotton and Pondo. I spent my whole time trying to get rocks by punching the ground until I finally found out you can just pick up rocks. So here I am wandering around the town, knifing zombies with a bone knife. And then I'm like cutting some cotton, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna make some clothes with this cotton. Then I hear this enormous boom, and then more and more booms over and over again. So I'm like, you know what? That seems safe to investigate. So I go over, and it's just Pondo has arrived at my position and is just shooting things, I guess. He keeps making a ton of noise, and I'm like, okay, well, this is one way to play the game, I guess.
Yeah, I figured out that they don't really respond to much noise for some reason. So you could just take a blunderbuss and shoot some heads off.
I honestly thought that everything in the area would be responding to that noise because it was very loud. And it didn't sound like a gunshot. The gunshots in this game don't sound like actual gunshots or video game gunshots.
No, yeah.
What do they sound like?
It's hard to describe without hearing it.
Sounds like some heavy equipment landing on the ground.
I was gonna say it sounds like a bad audio recording, to be honest.
There is some jank to 7 Days to Die. That's they have to keep some of the janks that way they can keep their alpha build saying, because they're like on 17 alpha.
Yeah, because if things go too smoothly, people will be like, oh, well, why isn't this released yet?
So the way I used to describe the sound of a silenced gunshot is like somebody slamming a book down hard on a wooden desk.
Yes, gunshot. The silencers are not like what people imagine they are on television. And you need like subsonic ammunition and...
Yeah, silencer's way to make it sound like is you smacking someone really, really hard.
Just use the sound effects from GoldenEye on the Nintendo 64 and you're good to go.
There is actually one silenced gun that is completely silent. Pretty mostly.
I was gonna say crossbow, right?
No, it was a World War II special services pistol.
You had to manually remove the shell from the previous round, that sort of thing. So had no moving action in response to the shot. You had to manually work the action to get there.
And it has these plastic discs that go inside the basically it's a tube, and the first bullet that fires perforates those discs, and it is almost completely silent.
Yeah, that's the thing, is there's three functions that make a lot of noise: the actual functioning of the gun as it racks the round, the bullet itself after it hits supersonic, and then the explosion from said bullet when it gets ignited.
If you watch my latest Car Mechanic Simulator stream, you can learn about how to make a silencer out of an oil filter.
Yep, I did watch your latest Car Mechanic Simulator stream.
It's fairly easy and it's scary.
Look, guys, obviously I can take my Uzi, the favorite gun of the 1990s, just put a silencer on it, fire randomly all up and down a street, and no one will wake up, because that's how movies work.
So I just looked into it, Arthur. Like these days, they're keeping the alpha, the experimental, and the release pretty close.
So we're good.
You're good.
We're good.
Yeah, you're good. Yeah, because previously it was like they had the experimental, which had like 2 years worth of updates on it, and then they'd had the normal release. And the normal release was like so far behind in terms of content. I was like, yeah, no, just playing experimental. But yeah, no, this is fine. Oh, do they still have luck in that game, or did they remove it? Because luck was way fucking stupid in that game.
I think it's under perception.
Like, yeah,
it's skills that determine how well you find stuff when you go searching.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So anytime you open up a gun chest, it's like, yeah, I get everything. What up? Yeah, no, that game was fun. That game was a lot of fun, but it's definitely more Minecrafty than anything else, I would say.
I have never shivved a man walking down the stairs towards me with a bone knife in the face in Minecraft.
When was the last time you played Minecraft?
Last year sometime.
Okay.
There's no bone knives, but there's definitely swords in Minecraft.
What I mean by Minecrafty, I mean like, here's the world, now go have fun. You know what I mean? Like,
sure.
Like, you just have to watch every corner.
I did watch zombies. Yeah, I was gonna say, I was watching zombies like crawl out of the second floor and land on the ground and seem totally unharmed, but I used the fact that they were standing up to run over and shiv them a bunch of times.
Yeah.
It was really proactive in eliminating zombies, even though I probably should have, dodged them and run.
That's a good way to get XP.
I don't know how you get XP in that game. I think I got some just for picking grass. So
yeah, picking grass, getting materials, killing zombies, etc., etc.
Are you telling me that I get better at things by doing them? What is this, Skyrim? I should get XP when the GM thinks I'm ready, obviously.
I love the fact that everyone uses Skyrim as the game that does that. It's like, no, games have been doing that for years before that happens, but
yeah, but it's easy to meme on Skyrim.
It's incredibly easy.
That's because all you have to do is sit in a cave with a bear. Just get like 100 sneaking at the beginning of the game.
Oh yeah, I recently learned about that. I was like, yeah, okay.
Recently learned about that? It's like a decade old, man.
I played Skyrim when it came out, and then never again.
Oh, you're the opposite of Bondo.
Yeah, you can also farm the stealth off of just whacking the guy you rescue, or the guy you choose to go with into it.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't make any sense.
I watched that dude that makes those videos. Was like, I'm not allowed to walk in Skyrim. Can I beat the game? Like, yeah, I watch those sorts of shit. Yeah,
it's very interesting.
It's very interesting. It's like an hour and a half long, and it's just like, if I punch all the time, I move forward like a millimeter every time I punch. I'll use that to complete the game. It's like, dude, what?
And then he goes into like all the other things you do, just completely break it, like infinite shouts, or where you use a shout and then cause yourself to paralyze, project that to essentially projectile yourself to where you need to go. To where he was at like the bottom of the stairs before you go into Sovereign Guard. He just skipped the whole thing by just zooming, ramping up the stairs, paralyzing himself, and then landing right into the portal. Those are interesting videos. I got nothing else. Yeah. It's been a week. But I just say go watch Seth's fight if you want to figure out what he's talking about.
You're saying people should watch the 15th episode of Solaris Knights?
Yes, it's very short. Okay. So watch it.
How long is a normal episode of a Solaris Knights?
1 to 2 hours. Yeah. I think the shortest has been 45 minutes and the longest has been 2 hours and 10 minutes ish. But don't worry, someone will correct me on YouTube and tell me how fucking wrong I am.
If you watch it on times 2, you can watch it in half an hour to an hour as well. So.
And like,
yeah, if you want to hear me talk like this all the time, you can watch it in 1.5 as much as you want.
Are you cutting out like the game, like the mechanics talk or whatever?
No.
Like how does?
No, but we don't do a lot of mechanics talk. We just
because it's one-on-one. So pretty much everybody is a somewhat experienced BattleTech player.
Or if you're like me, you tell the person, it's like, hey, you need to do this.
Yeah. If you're Pondo, you're like, oh, you got a 5? That's this. Hey, by the way, you have 2 less heat than what you should because you're missing this heat sink.
Oh yeah, you're also at short range for those.
I'd be really interested to see if you could make like a radio show out of something like that. And what I mean by that is like,
show.
yeah, you cut it down to like 15 minutes and you put in a lot of sound effects and stuff like that. And you basically just make it audio only and you put it out as a podcast.
You mean like an audio drama?
Yeah, like an audio drama, yeah. I've always wanted to do something like that with a show, right? And just have it focused of like remove all the table talk and just have in character talking.
I'm just going to do slide whistle sound effects the whole time. All right, so Seth fires his ERPPC. Wah, 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 wah.
I mean,
all right, Seth, make a piloting roll check. Wah, 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 wah.
So you would have to get
you have a ton of existing sound effects that already exist for this system that you can take from like the games and stuff like that.
It's all under copyright. I can't just.
You need to check out 40K in 40 seconds, Dave. There's a channel called 40K in 40 minutes, which does like commentated games of Warhammer 40,000 reduced to 40 minutes. But they as a joke, they encourage people to send in 40-second battle reports of playing Warhammer 40K.
Like I think what you're talking about is possible, Dave. But you would have to do some sort of narration over the mech fights.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, right? Like that's the whole point of that stuff. But there was a really good Edge of the Empire game that was run by comedians that was built like a radio drama. It was fucking awesome. The way that they just sort of cut out all of the stuff and it's literally just like, you know, and then occasionally they'll cut to like someone.
Campaign?
Is it Campaign? Yes.
It's literally just called Campaign. I mean,
yeah, I like that a lot. I thought that system was really good.
Cat Cool was great. Most of the people on it were great. There's one guy on it who really pissed me off.
I mean, what you're describing, Dave, was something similar to what we were going to do with like a Pokemon game. It was supposed to be kid friendly, but then I messed it up completely at the beginning.
Why did you eat a Magikarp or something like that?
No, I cursed. I said a dirty word.
Yep.
Did you say rice balls instead of donuts?
No, I said ass.
How is ass a swear word?
Depends on context. I wasn't talking about donkey.
Okay, but I mean most kids shows that I know of, they have crap in it as a like they can say crap and stuff.
Hey, my kids love the fact that Transformers movie has a shit in it. So every time that scene comes up, like, oh, we're watching a swear movie.
Yeah. Transformers is an interesting thing. That's Michael Bay movies are an interesting thing to watch too.
I'm talking about like the 87 cartoon.
Oh, the 80s. Oh, they say shit in that? My God.
Yeah, there's one shit in it. That's it.
My God, that
was it Lion? There was a TV, a really old cartoon where they actually like had a lot of blooper reels from the voice actors where they just swear and they were like really racist or whatever. Or like,
SpongeBob.
Recording booth. No, it wasn't SpongeBob. It was like He-Man or something like that. It was something really, really old, and they actually like took all the voice recordings and they put it to the actual characters. In the show. Oh, I'll see if I can find it. It's fantastic.
SpongeBob has something similar where there's an episode where they made jokes about cursing, and they were like, "All right, just do like the beep noise." And Brent fell out. I was like, "We can't do this. Can we just curse and you just figure out later?" Like, sure. And it's somehow like that footage got leaked, and it is some interesting stuff.
Really, I might need to. So what was it called? SpongeBob.
Yeah, look up SpongeBob cursing or something. It's somehow like the audio got leaked, or they just was like, just throw the audio out there. Sure, why not? It's weird to hear SpongeBob and Patrick and all of them cursing.
Is it called Sailor Mouth?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna watch that. Sounds great.
Yeah. I got nothing else. I thought I already ended, but I might not have.
Okay. You did, but then we got into talking about some more stuff.
That's right.
James, how's it going?
Good. Like I had a really relaxing start to the week because having got my presentation in last week, I didn't have to worry about it until I actually had to give it. So I managed to play some 40K, although I had a really odd situation. So I played against my friend's Death Guard and I got absolutely destroyed. And I sort of felt like during the game, a couple of things didn't quite feel right. Like he managed to cast 7 psychic powers with 2 psychic characters. And what happened was whenever he comes to my place, he always gets his USB stick where he prints off his army list at the start of the game. And I realized after he left the army list open on the screen. So I got my Death Guard Codex out and I actually audited his list and found he made a whole bunch of mistakes. Like I don't think he was cheating. I just think that it was just misinterpretation of some of the rules. And then I agonized that week over how to tell him, mate, all that stuff was wrong you just did there. And I did it finally on Friday, but it was one of those things working out how I was going to actually address it with him.
Did he use Mortarion?
He didn't use Mortarion, no. Okay. So, yeah, just things
How do they do that in an official setting? How do they... Because
they have a judge.
Seems like it would be a lot of work, right? To verify someone's entire army.
Well, that's the problem. If you play a faction, you might not know your opponent's faction, and you're relying upon them to be honest about what their faction can do. So, yeah, it's an odd one. But it's like, bye-bye. My kids are going to see me for a week, so they're coming to say goodbye before they go.
Yeah.
So there was that. And then I ran my Star Wars game this week as well, which went really well. It's a really slow burn game at the moment, which the group's really liking. And I also ran my D&D for Nurses game last night when my wife brought all her nursing friends from the hospital along for me to run a D&D session. And they want to keep, for a lot of them, it was their first time role-playing. So they just wanted to give it a go. So, and they're all keen to do it again. So we've literally booked another session in 3 weeks.
How many clerics and healers does the group have?
No actual clerics. Although one of the players who is a normal D&D player did admit that she has a life cleric as her regular character in her other campaign. But
did they all play evil characters? What's the what was? I'm very curious about this. I always ask people who run the first time people how buck wild did they go?
So first off, when we were talking about it on Facebook originally, I'm like, let's just keep it to the PHB so that people were you can learn with the basic stuff, and then players I actually rolled my own character before coming here. I never played D&D before. I'm playing a Warforged Artificer. It's okay, so you completely missed the whole. Let's keep it to the PHB thing. But yeah, they were very. I wouldn't call them a heroic group. I'd call it there was certainly some. We could help these people and they can reward us, or we could just steal what they've got and we've got it regardless.
So it was the fuck you pay me group.
That's right. Yeah, Murder Hobos, definitely Murder Hobos.
I love that mental experiment when you just what would you like to do? And they're just what do you mean? It's you can. How would you like to handle the situation? It's well, what are the repercussions? Try something. See what happens.
Yeah.
You will find out later.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's can I just stab the guy? It's yes, you can stab the guy. It's oh man.
But I think as Arthur mentioned, so I gave my presentation to the company's board of directors, their representatives of the shareholders on Thursday, and they liked enough that they called me back in 5 minutes later and they offered me the role, which was announced to the business on Friday and is being announced to the market on Tuesday. So I'll be interested to see what happens to our share price, whether people think that me being in place is a good thing or a bad thing. But the unfortunate thing is I'm off to Melbourne in 5 hours' time without a plane. I was only going to be there for 2 days, but my current boss, the outgoing CEO, has asked me to extend my trip into a victory tour and spend the rest of the week in Melbourne telling all of our major customers and vendors there, which is going to have a real impact on my ability to do Cyberpunk, which I'll discuss later on. But which it's good news. They already literally they gave me the pay rise as of Friday, and I've had no backlash from anyone in the business or anyone outside the business so far. So I'm looking forward to how that all turns out. Just means I get to be a week away from my family now, getting back now on Friday night. But that's all I got.
Congratulations, man.
Cheers. Yeah, it's going to be. I talked a big game, So, the easy part was selling my plan. Now I've got to deliver on my plan. So
that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm very different to the current boss. The current boss is very much the whippings will continue till morale improves. I'm the good cop to his bad cop. So we'll see if that change in style as a result. But that's my life this week. So if you don't want to intro, Arthur, shall I just get straight into it? Or
Please do.
All right, no. Do you need to make a note of the time?
I already have.
Okay. So previously on Rogue Trader, Tide of Iron. With all matters resolved on Sonofia, the Hand of Calixis departs the system after setting up a new lucrative merchandising opportunity. Word arrives from the Spider Bride with information on how Tanthos Moros could be potentially be overcome and footfall delivered into Pierre Cowles' hands. Yet another new Inquisitor, Witchfinder Rikus, reaches out to the group seeking to purchase Knowles from the ship. As the Hand heads to Scintilla to collect the Gilded Throne and other supplies, Inquisitor Shrane contacts Nero with an ominous message about the intents of the Iron Warriors in the Maw. And finally, inspecting a shipment of autocannons from the services Scintilla, the crew are horrified to discover a Reaper autocannon inscribed with Chaos runes among the other weapons. Thought for the day: enlightenment is a myth. We do not need to understand in order to hate. So, Nero, you've got this profane weapon before. I think if you organized for the weapon to be destroyed already.
I think we're bringing it. Oh yeah. I think we gave it to Ivy, to be properly disposed of.
Yep.
Yeah. And then Don and I were taking a shuttle with Captain Bryn down to the planet to speak with this weapons merchant.
Okay. Did you want to involve anybody else in this process?
No, I feel like we'll be enough to handle this particular.
All right.
I don't remember that.
It was the last thing that happened.
You cracked your knuckles and everything.
I asked you, and I said, "Hey, Don, you want to come with me? I'm gonna go kill the heretic."
This is the heretic guy, right?
Yes.
Okay. I didn't realize he was also a weapons seller. He was trying to sell us
he sold us autocannons and such that Pierre had wanted to buy, and one of them turned out to be an evil chaos weapon.
So we're short one autocannon.
An evil virus of Satan. Yeah.
So according to the manifest, the weapons have come from Fane Orthlak, which is one of the forges in Gunmetal City. The billing came from a person named Baltus Orthlak, who is the manager of that Fane.
Did you say this guy's name was Baltus Orthlak, and that would imply a familial connection?
So Fane, another name for forge or factory on Gunmetal City. So effectively, he may not be the head of that family, but he is the head of that factory that carries a family name. Good. Probably it's a noble family, and he is the one assigned to run the factory as such.
Sure.
Okay. So who's flying you down? By the way, just taking. Because you taking a gun cutter or one of the landers?
I don't know that we need a gun cutter. Although
okay.
we could bring Adrian in on this. The more player characters we can stack in a scene, the better. All right, I'm gonna call Adrian up on my little microbead and be like, Adrian, it's Nero. We have a situation. We need to get the gun cutter down to the planet in the next 5 minutes. Either you're available or I'll find someone else to fly it. Make a decision.
I can fly you down. Pre-flight might take a bit longer than 5 minutes, but I can get you there as soon as possible.
Good. We're on our way. All right, Don. It's strategy meeting time. Now, I need you to understand that you have to take the forefront in everything that happens here, because I don't have any authority on the planet. I am not a rogue trader, nor am I a ecclesiarchy member. When it comes to hunting heresy, you have to be the one to give me orders down there. Also, when it comes to intimidating people, I'm very good. But I feel like we should probably get some information out of this guy, and torture is typically a last measure. We will definitely torture him, but it will be the last thing we do, because people tend to not react positively afterwards, in my experience.
All right, there's two things you need to know here, Nero. The first one is we're going to make this man repent for
Yes.
what he's done.
Sure.
And if he's not willing to repent, then we simply kill him.
Okay, you're in charge.
The heresy has already been decided, as far as I'm concerned. I've seen the weapon, right? Like,
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so,
Dave, could you give me a common law ecclesiarchy roll, please, at +10?
Let me just log in real quick.
Nero, I'd also take from you, if you like, a common law war at -10.
I feel like James did that on purpose.
I hadn't even noticed that Dave wasn't in. Sorry.
Oh, well, all right.
not unusual for me to not be in the game.
So yeah, it's another classic Hindley move. And so I need to roll the dice.
And Cyberpunk.
Common
law ecclesiarchy, yeah, +10.
+10. Roger.
We have Nero rocking the common law war as well. Look at you, both got it too. So there's a number of different weapons. So Gunmetal City is famous for its multiple weapon forges. And it has a few of its own pattern weapons, but it also has templates to manufacture other patterns. From what you know of Thane Orthlak, their primary export is the Sacristan pattern bolters. So normally, this is a battle in the Ecclesiarchy. You use Goblin Diaz pattern bolters, which are manufactured elsewhere in the Imperium, but it's not economical to transport the Goblin Diaz pattern all the way out here. So the Sacristan pattern is the chosen pattern of bolters for the Ecclesiarchy in the Calixis sector, particularly this is a battle. And the majority of Sacristan pattern bolters come from Thane Orthlak on Gunmetal City.
So what you're saying is my common law Ecclesiarchy role is telling me not to.
I'm just telling you that the factory itself also manufactures weapons for which, if there's heretics in the company is also a major concern. I'm just letting you know that it is known for manufacturing weapons for the Ecclesiarchy.
And in the Imperium's point of view, depending on how inquisitory you want to be, he's responsible for everything that happens at his factory.
All right. I mean, whoever's going to take the criticism for this, whether they nominate someone to do that or whether it's going to be him, we'll decide when we get down there.
I understand, Tom. Like I said, you have all of the authority here. I'm just the muscle. As he says that, Nero flexes his bulging biceps. Adrian, you just showed up. Fantastic.
Yeah, the gun cutter is ready to go.
Good. We're going to torture a guy, probably to death. We don't know how many guys, but there will definitely be at least one.
I have complete and total faith in your and Don's ability.
Really? You're not even going to ask why. You're just going to accept that statement out of nowhere.
If Sister Don's going along with it, then we must be in the right.
I'll buy that. All right, so Nero just goes in.
Aren't you a good little guardsman?
So Pono just asked me via...
You're okay with it as long as the Ecclesiarchy's okay.
Yeah, man. Our missionaries on board? You got it.
Yeah.
Pondo just asked the population of Scintilla in chat. By the way, it's 25 billion.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Okay.
What are you worried about? We're not going to depopulate the planet in a day. At least give us a few weeks of waging campaigns on the heretics.
No, I'm figuring acquisitions.
Yeah, I was say he's doing acquisition rolls while we're.
This is a man who wants to get another gun cutter.
Yeah,
gun cutters.
This is a man who is one autocannon short on his order.
I am one autocannon short on my order.
No one orders 9,999 autocannons. That's ridiculous.
That's an odd number, and it's the worst thing you have related to Tzeentch. It's just not good.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. That is pretty bad.
So this person did this deliberately.
What is Tzeentch, the sovereign lord of odd numbers?
No, he's number 9.
No, he's number 9.
Oh, okay.
So he left 99, which...
associate number, yeah.
Yeah, so we have 99 autocannons, which is...
And the last one's a chaos one, which sends a big F you.
I'm just thinking of the scene in The Mummy of the guy going through every single holy symbol before.
The language of the slaves.
Yeah.
Man, that movie. It was a weird one.
Yep. All right, so the gun cutter departs the hand and starts heading down towards Gunmetal City. So Gunmetal City is built onto and around an active volcano. So the volcano in the center of the city is the primary sort of feature, and the city sprawls out around from that. So most of the factories are built on the side of the volcano, and they utilize the underground magma flows in their factory mechanics.
This
basically,
is Dwarf Fortress. Yeah.
I'm
like, look, Kate, you haven't seen volcanoes like this since your planet exploded.
How long until they crack the earth and demons flare?
Like a single tear rolls down Kate's eye.
That's the most emotion he's ever shown, James. I'm incredibly proud of him. I put my arm around his shoulder.
Nice. Okay. And then the city sprawls out with like more of the sort of the support structure of the so all the living accommodations and the warehouses and other things spread out from the base of the volcano. So it actually, unlike Hive Sibilis, which grows right up, this one expands out into a gigantic metropolis of about 2 billion people. When you land, so you probably did most of your dealings to actually make this purchase in Hive Sibilis. You didn't have to come to Gunmetal City to make this deal before. Well, at least Pono didn't. So it's all been brokered through arms dealers in Hive Sibilis, and now you're coming here for the first time. Once you actually come off the gun cutter and into the city itself, so the city has this constant smell of gun oil and that hot smell. Everything smells hot as well. Yeah, and just that industrial smell as well. And there's like a constant rain, and the rain is enough to sort of like it stings exposed flesh, like not enough to actually do any harm, but certainly it's like an irritant. It's like CS gas, how it irritates mucous membranes. Same thing here. It won't do you permanent harm, but it will not be pleasant to have skin exposed to the rain. And so most people move around either from cover to cover or with umbrellas that are pitted by holes that are obviously their material not quite enough to drive out the rain. You also notice that the majority, pretty much every single person here is armed in some way. Like you literally do not see a person carrying less than 2 guns. And a lot of people like Nero have multiple weapons strapped to them. Very few carry melee weapons. Occasionally you do see a sword or a knife built or somewhere, but a lot of pretty much, even children in the street have like dual auto pistols on their hips.
So that would make me very strange then, because I only carry like a hand flamer, which is tiny, and a sword.
Exactly. Yeah. And whether or not they think that you are weak because you have less than 2 guns, or that you must be really tough because you don't need more than 1 gun, it's hard to say. But certainly, people notice Nero, and especially with the heavy bolter. And
I was gonna say, James, let me set the scene here. It's dark and rainy, and everybody, we got a atmosphere going on. I assume that there's like sparks flying occasionally to light up everything. Very Blade Runner feel. Dawn is like walking.
So we're going back to noir.
No, we're not doing noir. So Dawn is in like subtle LED underlit Ecclesiarchy power armor. It's like red and white, right?
When you say it's going to be like Blade Runner, which is a cyberpunk noir film.
I mean, it's hot and it's wet, so there's fog everywhere as well.
So Nero shows up in his, elite stormtrooper carapace, right? Like with the mask faceplate on. The eye plates are like glowing. He's got a glowing gun on his shoulder from his cybernetic mount, and like the cabling runs, but the rest of his armor is like pure black. So he just like appears out of the fog as like a glowing face piece, and then he's like, yes, that's right, I'm huge and I have large weapons. I see people who look at Dawn and are like, oh, she's not carrying a gun, and I appear out of the darkness and I'm like, grrr. And then we have Adrian following behind us.
Oh, I probably would have brought oh man, I forgot the dog's name now.
Your Cyber Mastiff?
Wasn't it like
Ares?
Ares. Ares.
Okay, no worries.
Yeah, we're definitely going like some sort of cyberpunk here, man.
Synthwave begins playing as we walk through the streets.
So it's a drive from here to the Fane. So did you bring the Warhound, or are you bringing Nero's golf cart?
You mean the Chimera?
Yeah, I feel like we're the Chimera's name Warhound. Yeah,
you know how the Pelican
right.
drops off like a
warthog. Yeah,
I'm thinking.
Just imagine the gun cutter dropping off a golf cart.
yeah.
I'm thinking of the Hellhound, which is a moving explosive bomb of flame.
Yeah.
I think we are taking the tank.
Okay.
We have to kill heretics. It has a heavy flamer.
It's a match made in heaven.
We've also brought Wally, so Wally is here.
Yeah. Okay. No worries. All right. So Wally drives. It takes you probably about 2 hours to drive through town up to the base of the mountain where the Fanes are. There was nowhere to land the gun kind of nearby because the city is just so sprawling. But there are no helipads or the like. You had to let you land at the port.
Ridiculous.
So the Fane Orthac includes, so it's sort of the noble spire and the factory incorporated into one. So the factory is at the base level in the side of the mountain, and you can sort of see large pillars of black smoke emerging from its smokestacks. And then to one side is this sort of silvered tower, which rises probably about 8 stories above the factory roof. Which is, you're guessing is the noble house, and it bears like the crest of House Orthac on it as well. You head to the factory or to the noble house entrance?
Factory.
Okay.
That's where the heresy happened, right? Like,
You're in charge.
All right, no worries. You park out the front, head into the reception. It's like think of factory complex just has a plain like linoleum floor, white walls, although it's probably darker because it's grim dark as well. So, and there's like a young woman sitting behind a desk. She looks up as you come in. Doesn't seem to be at all like she recognizes you've got guns, but isn't immediately threatened by all weapons. Clearly, because everyone here carries lots of weapons. Welcome to Fane Orthac. How can I be of assistance?
So I look around a little bit. Is there any like memorabilia on the wall? Like what?
There are. So there's all sorts of things like past major deals, like major contracts have been like copied and framed here as such. So you can sort of see like when they've supplied 100,000 auto guns to this particular campaign effort. There's photographs of or pics of members of House Orthac shaking hands with key people over deals. One person that probably Nero recognized, because you've seen pictures of it before, is the rogue trader Aspis Chorda. There's definitely like a picture of somebody shaking hands with her, with like, you see equipment being loaded into a lander in the background. Also with there's pictures here with Sector Governor Marnius Hax, who you realize now at 6'6", like towers over everybody in the picture.
It's like a picture with Shaq. Okay, so I will walk up to the I guess
receptionist.
Sorry, the word escaped my brain for a second there. Receptionist, and I'll say, "Good evening. My name is Sister Confessor Dawn of the Cleansing Flame. I am here on behalf of the Hand of Calixis. I am under the impression that there has been some issues regarding an order that have come to my attention, specifically for their heretical natures. You need to put me in touch with the person in charge of the floor at this very moment."
Oh, she looks genuinely like she actually when you first say you're from the Keys, like she makes a sign of the Aquila and like bows to you as such. And as soon as you mention Heresy, she looks genuinely shocked. And she quickly like types up on her computer to like when you mention the Hand of Calixis, she's typing up to the order to get it in front of her. And then she's like, you should definitely speak with Master Orthac, definitely. Here, come with me. She goes over. She locks the door. It's like I'll take you up to his office.
I'll just follow her.
Okay.
I follow her.
No worries. So the factory here, when you enter the factory floor, is busily manufacturing. Like it's all sort of like big keyed machines and stamp weapons and such. So it's turning out mainly auto weapons, so auto guns, auto pistols at the moment, and you can sort of see like large crates being bundled, like sealed up to be sent. They all sort of match the same crates that you received. You get walked up through a number of flights of stairs to like an office area which overlooks the factory, and there is a man behind the table there. Looks to be probably late 40s. Has various cybernetic enhancements. Looks like some sort of brain enhancement. So he's got certainly cables and things that extend from the back of his head, and a cybernetic eye. He's plugged in like by some sort of MIU into the computer he's working on as well. But when he sees you coming in, he unplugs himself and looks up and stands. You are representatives of Lord Commodore Cowles? Yes, Betty sent me a message saying she was bringing you up. And there's some sort of problem with the order. Please come in.
Sorry, you misunderstand. I'm not here representing the Hand of Calixis today. I'm here representing the ecclesiarchy. This is a matter of heretical natures, and you would do best to answer our questions as promptly as possible.
Nero works the action on one of his guns, makes a I don't know that maybe he was intentionally brought a gun that goes like because I don't know that any of his guns have that capability.
The heavy bolter has got a mechanical action. Definitely.
Yeah, but you act like that wouldn't already be loaded.
He racks it into bolter.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Your other thing would be to bring a shotgun with you.
That's very Hollywood of you. Whenever
there's no hammer you can cock, for example. No.
Yeah.
No, I intentionally bring like some piece to do that, and then
I have your auto pistols.
Oh, it's true. Yeah, I rack one and then I plug it back in and get my hands back on the heavy bolter.
Sister, I'm not sure what heresy you expect to find here, but we are loyal servants of the God Emperor, and we've served this sector for generations. My factory and all our records are open to you to disprove whatever it is you feel you may be seeking. I'll answer all of your questions.
The shipment to the Hand of Calixis, that was for laser rifles of some description.
100 autocannons.
Yes.
M34 pattern autocannons, yes.
My representative here, Mr. Nero.
I turn to my representative and I have Cade bring up the picture of the Reaper autocannon. The pict of the autocannon.
Nice. Okay.
This heretical weapon was found within the shipment of 100 or 1,000?
100 was 100 autocannons. Yeah.
100 autocannons.
No, she says it's threatening. 1,000 autocannons.
he looks at the pict and he once again. So go ahead.
A simple mishap of one autocannon missing is neither here nor there. The fact that this heretical weapon was a part of it brings up questions that need answers.
Nero racks the other auto pistol.
When he first sees the picture and sees the size of chaos, and he once again makes a sign of it, like crossing himself, makes a sign of the Aquila as a sort of thing of protection. Sister, I assure you that this weapon did not come from this factory. I don't even own a pattern like this. There must be some misunderstanding, some mistake.
Perhaps then you best help me find the issue then.
I would like to call my foreman up here if it's all right. He was involved in getting this order manufactured, picked and packed. May I summon him up?
Please.
All right. He goes to like a console and like there's that crinkly noise, and then suddenly like you hear the really badly re-announced voice through the internal intercom, and it's like, Foreman Arcus to the head office, please. Foreman Arcus to the head office immediately. And he sort of stands back, and he loosens his collar as he sort of sits down and like offers you seats as well if you wish.
I'll take a seat.
I'm gonna not sit, and I'm gonna menace this guy and say, "There's something wrong. Those who have nothing to hide have nothing to fear." I'm using like voice modulation through my armor.
There's like a single eyebrow as Dawn like sort of like does the pug looking over his shoulder sort of meme.
I think while Don and Nero are like intimidating this guy and interrogating him, Adrian's just kind of looking around his office.
Opening drawers.
Well, we've got his attention. Adrian's just like, there's a blood fountain back here. There's some sigils.
Investigation.
Give me a search roll if you like, Adrian.
Sure.
He's a demon chained up in the back.
There's a weird upside down Star of David on the floor.
I'm terrible at these. Oh my god, that's amazing.
Did you kill it?
You trip over seven.
Yeah, he rolled a 10.
That's actually a thing I have.
Yeah.
And of course I'm not there.
This is beneath your attention. We're solving this problem for you. That's what a crew does.
I'm probably on hold right now about it, actually.
So you don't find anything incriminating. You certainly you open a filing cabinet and you find all of the like the patterns that they own as and you sort of flick through them, and yep, certainly the autocannons you bought, the pattern is shown there. You don't find any patterns that are of an untoward nature, and certainly not for Reaper autocannon. Sure. Your search turns up nothing of actual value in terms of proving his guilt. Mm-hmm. So a short while later, a man walks into the room. He is a slightly younger man, probably mid-30s, wearing like grease-covered work overalls, although he does have like a foreman's badge on that indicates that his name is Foreman Jontel Arcus. He has a cybernetic arm as well, which has like a couple of accessory like fold-out components that would be used for like picking up and inspecting goods as such, as well as like not integrated into his head, but he has like a halo style ring around his head, like a doctor's thing with the magnifying glass that's all sort of moved out of the way as well at the moment.
So I want to be clear, James. I continue to stare and loom over to the guy in the chair. But the cyber gun flips behind me to follow this guy wherever he is, pointed at his head, and I'm watching him through the omniscope. You called me up here, sir. And Orthac looks at you and, did you want to explain, or shall I, sister?
Please explain.
These gentlemen and lady are here investigating a mistake in their shipment. They received a weapon that did not come from this, or I don't believe came from this factory, and I hope that you can help me discover where it did come from, Jontel. And he sort of shows him the picture, and this guy looks shocked as well. Sir, this didn't come from us. This is definitely we can't even make this. Then I need to know how it came to be in the shipment of autocannons bound for these people's ship. Arcus sort of scratches his head. I need to go and I need to ask I didn't see this weapon at all, but I need to ask the crews. Can I go and investigate, sir? Ma'am?
Adrian,
sorry, sister?
Go with him.
All right. He and Adrian leave. So what do you guys want to do while while Adrian's off doing that? How do you want to handle this guy? You're sort of sitting back, really hoping that something good comes back from this, and trying to make as little conversation as possible.
So I want to point out, if you fail to come up with a suitable answer as to why the shipment to the Hand of Calixis included such a heretical design, you do realize that you are responsible for this, yes?
My family runs this fame that's always been. It's our it's our honor and our responsibility.
So you.
But I can assure you, this is not from our factory. This is something else has happened.
I find it very strange that either you're telling me the truth and someone is attempting to sabotage your name, or simply there is someone in your crew that is making very lofty decisions on your behalf.
Oh, we'll have to see. So Spoon, while this guy's asking, like basically pulling and interrogating all these work crews, I would like you to give me a scrutiny check at +10.
The slack cloth. Don't look under that. That's not important. It's like
well, natural one.
Holy shit!
My luck today in my earlier Forbidden Lands game was awful, so it's turning around for me.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, so
do you guys remember that TV show Psych about the fake psychic
Yeah.
detective?
Oh, yes, I definitely remember it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's like you're not just like, I'm getting a message from the spirits.
That was actually, I enjoyed that show a lot because it was a nice sort of idea. I like the idea that you just remember everything perfectly, like everything.
The episodes where he doesn't remember everything perfectly are the best. Where he's like, "No, it was, it's not working today." He just starts throwing out like 8 theories, and Lassiter's like, "That's it. He's finally gone off the deep end."
And someone sprays X body spray at him, and he remembers. It's like, oh.
So, when he's got all these crews together, he's explaining, something's been wrong. We've sent a wrong thing, a different autocannon. He hasn't mentioned the chaos symbol or anything yet, but you notice there's because he's talking to a whole group of people, and there's one person who clearly, well, doesn't not clearly. It's like it's subtle, but you pick up it exactly. It's like you just happen to be looking at this person at the exact time he reacted. One person suddenly looks very nervous, and is sort of like starting to sort of shift uncomfortably, and maybe even like looking around, like not. They clearly know they're in trouble, but they don't necessarily know that, like, if someone knew that they've been caught with heretical goods and therefore that their life is in immediate peril, they'd probably just bolt. Mm-hmm. This person's more like, I've done the wrong thing and I've been caught. I could lose my job, or I could lose pay or privileges as such. He looks really sort of sheepish and worried, and is trying to weigh up coming forward, or just hoping if I keep my mouth shut, they'll never know it was me, sort of thing. But you definitely pick up this. You get all that with your natural one from looking at this one person.
Okay.
A young man, probably about 20 years old.
Sure.
Discombobulate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I think Adrian's gonna play it cool, and let the foreman talk for a little bit, and then he'll basically separate them up into groups, with. And basically dismiss the other groups that doesn't have this guy in it, and then he'll talk to the one group. Your foreman has underestimated the importance of this issue. Anyone coming forward with information will be of great help to the Imperium and its people. The information we need is about the origins or any tampering with the order from when it left the factory here to when it was delivered to a ship in orbit.
All right. I'll give you command at +30.
Okay.
Hey, there you go.
Didn't even
Not a
need the
one,
plus
but still
30.
pretty good. Yep. So yeah, this one person you saw before sort of like sheepishly puts his hand up.
Yes.
Sir, there was a mistake with this order. When I was pressing one of the assemblies, I didn't line up the die properly, and the barrel was misturned. And we're in very strict instructions here regarding materials. I didn't have spare materials to make a replacement barrel, but there's a factory down mountain that has been receiving deliveries of equipment for months now, and they just leave it outside. And I knew that there were some autocannon deliveries there, so I took one and filled the order with that last piece. It looked different, but I figured that no one would notice.
I see. And could you take me to this factory if I asked you to?
Yes.
Excellent. And I will Vox bead Don and Nero and say, I believe I found the location of the autocannon in question. If you would meet me on the factory floor, I have someone who can take us there.
So I look over at Nero and I stand up and I brush myself off and I say, well, it seems that perhaps we have a reason for what has happened. Hopefully it ends well for you.
Is there any further service I can offer?
You would do well to remember that rogue trader Pierre Cowles did not immediately order your execution despite your failure.
Very well, sir. Yes, I thank you for your time and candor. I certainly don't want something like this besmirching the good reputation of this Fane.
You would do well to consider hanging a photograph of shaking hands with Pierre Cowles outside of your office.
I don't have such a pict. Is he
Yes.
on world right now?
It is a solvable problem. I say that as I leave.
Okay, no worries.
We'll have him shuttled down.
By the way, when you were describing the salute, like what happened with the gun, for some reason my mind just went, oops, all heresy, you know?
So, Pierre, when you're working way up on the ship and whatever you're working on, you get a message from the surface from Gunmetal City, from this Fane, indicating that the sincerest apologies about the mistake with your order, that a further 100 auto guns will be produced at no cost and sent to you, and that the Fane Master has requested to apologize in person and yeah.
Can I bump that to 101?
What are they, Dalmatians?
Well, because
You're gonna make a code out of auto guns?
199.
It's an even 200 then.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, yes. Yeah, certainly they will. That's an easy. That's a gimme for them. Like, yep, 100%. If you can come and we can apologize in person, maybe get a picture. We will definitely give you 101 replacement auto guns.
Okay.
I also love the idea that there is like some guy sweating. That's just like, wait, I just told them I don't have enough parts to make auto guns.
Yeah.
Like, where am I going to get 101 from?
No, they buy the material for the order. So yeah, they bought enough. They bought enough to make exactly 100 auto guns, and this guy screwed the die.
Yeah.
You know that meme of like the superhero patting his head and then he looks at two buttons.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like order all the parts or give them extra heresy. Like
all right, so you take this guy out to the Warhound, and he directs Wally where to drive. It's a much smaller factory further down. According to the signage outside, this is Forge Ardento. Although the factory itself looks to be not operational, like there's lighting's not on inside. There are signs out the front indicating that the forge is currently undergoing maintenance and cleaning operations, and that orders are not currently available to be taken. And there is a lot of crates and shipping containers which have all been sort of like, the signage like, delivery drivers, please leave equipment here, and effectively they've dumped all the stuff out the front. And so this is where, and clearly people have come in here from time to time and flogged things as well, or stolen things, like this guy did. But most of the stuff here is untouched.
Nero, I have a question for you real quick.
Yep.
When you opened the box with the auto gun, when you're inspecting the weapons, was the gun, the heretical gun, was that box opened? Was there a sign of tampering?
I believe like not, right?
Yeah.
Like it was perfectly sealed.
So you identified it because it wasn't.
Oh, because it was
sealed.
tampered. Yeah.
So what happened? This guy's taken the gun out of the shipping container here and put it into the auto gun shipping container that they were sitting in, but it wouldn't quite fit. So it was not properly closed.
So he handled the weapon then.
He handled the weapon, yes, but he's not. He doesn't know. He doesn't recognize symbols of chaos. He's not. Yeah, he's never been.
He's blissfully unaware.
Yeah.
So
So
right.
You're muted, Spoon.
I feel like in the back. Go ahead.
He's a poor bastard, is what he is.
In the back of the Warhand, I'm sitting across from him, and as we're pulling up to stop, I just say, "Do you know what they do to thieves who steal war equipment where I come from on Cadia?"
Nothing good, I suspect.
Good. You understand.
You know what?
The next few minutes will be your last of freedom.
Yeah. So basically, as I'm leaving the Warhand, I take and I kneel next to the man and I look at him in the face and I'm just like, "You're going to be arrested, and you're going to follow me back to the Hand of Calixis, where I will offer you an ultimatum. It is up to you to decide your own fate from that point onwards."
Give me a common law Imperium at +0, by the way, as well, if you've got it. Yeah, Dave does. I don't know if you've got it, Arthur.
Adrian's here too.
Adrian as well, if you've got common law Imperium.
I don't think I do.
I do not.
Okay.
I'll re-roll that. Fuck it, why not? I mean,
yeah, there won't be any combat during an episode called Target Rich Environment. So
no, not at all.
That was in preparation if things went south in your negotiations.
our negotiations are going great so far. I haven't tortured anyone. I've barely threatened anyone.
He was just being
I've only said like 4 lines in character.
So, Dawn, you're not intimately familiar with the social structures of Gunmetal City, but it looks like from like the markings in this guy's uniform, he may be actually an indentured servant already. Like he may have been guilty of some minor crime, and his penance is that he has to work in this factory. It's like it was that or go back to prison sort of thing. So that probably like he's certainly intimidated by you still as well, but going back to prison is pretty much what he expected because of this.
Oh, it doesn't sound like it's prison. I think it's
Wally.
He doesn't know it though.
Yeah.
Please put this man into chains and leave him where he sits.
I toss Wallace my manacles that are on my character sheet because I'm a bounty hunter as a side gig.
Okay.
A very real, still active side gig, by the way.
I did it on the show, I believe in the first episode. And I've tried to keep it alive, but we haven't found any criminals until now.
Second or third when we made it to Footfall the first time.
Okay, then that's what it happened. It was good times. Yeah, I mean, I'm just like, Cade, stay here. Watch over this piece of criminal scum.
Oh, if Cade's there, I probably would have asked him to do it as well.
Yeah, well, we need to leave Wally with the car, Cade, to protect everybody because he's a killer now. I order Captain Bryn to secure a perimeter around this area. I mean, I'm not clear on how big this thing is. You said it was a lot smaller, But the last place we went to was a fucking
gigantic,
tower.
Yeah, that's right. So this would be like 4,000 square meters. So
okay, too much for 12 men to cover, right?
Yeah.
I order them to establish a perimeter around our vehicle.
Yeah. Okay. No worries. So it's like a 4-acre complex. So yeah.
So I just want to understand. These guys are shut down, and people still make deliveries here, and other people show up to steal those deliveries.
So give me search rolls.
Great.
Yeah. While you're looking around, you do like overhead. You sort of do spot one of the hands shuttles coming down as well to the spaceport.
Search, you said?
Yep, search.
Yep, that went as well as I expected.
Okay.
James is sitting here thinking, what's the probability all three of them fail?
Yeah, so it's pretty much what you described. It's just like there's been multiple deliveries here, and it looks like they've been delivered over a long period of time, like not just one big delivery. And people have come and stolen some things. Yeah, there's definitely marks where like more stuff was put here, and it ranges from small crates like that you would put a single hand weapon into, up to the size of like 40-foot shipping containers.
Is there anything reasonably identical about the crates' origin?
They, according to the packing information on the sides, like where it's been stamped on the crates, they've all come from the world of Malfi.
So they don't have like any more particulars about like where on Malfi? Or
They have sort of like there's, you would need like, it doesn't say from this suburb, but it has shipping information you could reference with the shipping companies to identify. Like it has like a bill of lading number.
Mm-hmm.
Sister Dawn, this is something you could pass along to your organization to continue an investigation of. I think that our ability to follow this is at an end here.
How defunct is this location, out of curiosity?
It was a tumbleweed goes by.
Give me awareness rolls at +10.
Chaos heretics are actually everywhere cosplaying as boxes.
I rolled at a 70 and I got a 1 degree. Okay, sure.
Okay, so you do notice, Dawn, that one of the smokestacks of the factory is actually outputting smoke.
Oh, Nero, it seems we have a little bit left to investigate before we move on.
What?
This is
this place is obviously closed down.
I point out to the smokestack and it's just like
Nero adjusts his photo visor and goes, "How did I miss that?"
You had your infrared set for black as hot instead of white hot.
I would like to believe that some people can't see the forest through the trees. So
that's deep, bro. It's real deep.
Nero just has his heavy bolter and shouts, "Wally, bring the missile launcher."
He comes running over with the missile launcher and offers it to you.
No, I'm just like, no, continue to carry it next to me. We might need it.
Okay.
Yes, let's go to a close quarter situation with the rocket launch.
You know, you never know with this kind of stuff. And if there's one thing Empyrean has taught me, it is that missile launcher sniping is actually the best, the literal highest DPS in that game. Everybody else is like, I'm gonna burst fire around a corner, and I'm just like, bloop, bloop. Dudes are falling left and right.
The door itself is locked. The door to the factory that you come, first door you come to is locked.
We have a ton of badasses, and all three of us have burning blades. I assume
I don't need you wrong. I'm just asking whether are you picking a lock or are you using kinetic force?
Oh shit! No, I might actually be able to pick this lock.
I like the idea that we kick the lock open, and then I'm just like, ecclesiarchy, don't move. And I was like,
you have to like step out of your power armor just to be able to use your lockpick.
I'm not in my power armor. I'm in the didn't we get like lathe forge?
Yeah, lathe forge.
Okay, so you're in the shop.
Yeah. I'm in the good stuff. What is this skill? Is it security? Yes, security, I have security.
Yeah.
And when that fails, you can just crush the padlock in your hands.
I do have to be honest. I made a note to get a I think it's called an Omni tool, like 6 months ago, and I never did. Yep. So unless our whatchamacallit, our profit vector is good enough that I could just say I have one without needing to roll, then I don't have one currently.
I'd say it's probably good enough that a single Omni tool you can get without needing to make a roll. But right. I will let you. I will say that you can.
I appreciate that. I'll remember that next time you want to spend a destiny point.
No worries. After the fact. So it's plus 10 on a security roll.
Oh, I thought you couldn't even make it without it. All right, well, doesn't matter. I got this. Boom. Yeah, Nero just reaches into a pouch next to his burning blade and pulls out an Omni tool and just very quickly pops the thing open. Holds the door open and gestures for Dawn to go in.
So as soon as the door opens up, you get the sound of industry coming from within. Not loud, but distant. But certainly the walls and the structure were enough that you didn't really detect it from outside. But there is certainly somewhere in this complex, conveyors. Actually, what I will take awareness test, please. It is sound based. If you've got any sort of heightened awareness, it's going to be at +0.
I think this is a skill we're all really good at.
Yeah.
I need to stop dabbing. It really fucking hurts right now.
Yeah.
Why are you dabbing?
Because he's doing amazing.
Yeah, because he got 5.
Everybody else is crushing it with the rolls tonight.
So Adrian and Dawn both hear what sounds like distant chanting. With Dawn's 5 degrees of success, it sounds like a continuous chant of blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull throne, blood for the blood god, skulls for the skull throne. And it's coming from somewhere deep inside the complex.
I under my breath, I'm just like, there's nothing here, Dawn. We don't need to go inside, Dawn. This is a matter for other ecclesiarchy members, Dawn. Nero, please. And I just start stomping towards the fucking sound of chanting.
Dawn, I'm just like, Dawn, what are you talking? Oh.
Cultists.
So I'm just like, Dawn, do we want to call for backup? This is a massive, this is a 4-acre facility.
You have a chimera.
Well, Pierre's just
yeah, and I'll tell you what, if the chimera could go through doors.
Adrian's going to get on the Vox to Pierre.
So Pierre, you just landed, and you're being driven towards the factory now. You're probably an hour away at the moment. But
you're on hold for the factory as well, and it's just like
I don't even know if I'm going to the factory. It's just like. Yes. What?
Lord Commodore, we've uncovered the origins of the heretical piece of equipment we received in our order.
We received a heretical piece of equipment? Oh, yes, we did. Sorry, I've been on hold for I don't know how long now.
Of course, sir. We are pursuing its origins. It is in a very large facility, and I tell them where it's at, basically. If you could call in a favor with the Scintillan Fusiliers to perhaps send a platoon or two down here to help secure the area.
When you say platoon or two, I'm like, company.
A company or two to secure the area here, sir.
Okay, I'll see what I can do. If anything, you can use some of the armsmen that's on the ships.
The faster the better. There's chanting, sir.
And Dawn doesn't seem to be stopping.
Yes. Dawn's already 30 meters ahead of us, and this Vox is attached to the Chimera. I have to go, sir.
Oh, okay. Well, it's good luck, I suppose.
I shout back at Adrian. I'm like, why didn't you bring your microbead?
It doesn't go that far.
Nowhere. It's like, I don't know why they're asking for help. It
sounds
like
Wally.
they're not going to arrive. So I guess I'll get a hold of the Fusiliers if I can.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, look, you've got influence, but you don't just have someone's number on speed dial. So you have to
So now he's on the factory on this phone.
We also have
I think he hangs up. He gives up on the
Squad?
factory for now, and it's like starts calling up as to like Hand of Calixis is like, "Hey, I need a couple of platoons, maybe. I don't know. I don't know how many armsmen we have. Probably about 200. Let's say about 200 armsmen to come down. There's apparently a factory that needs to be taken care of."
All right, so it's because they're going to be transported down by. You don't have like mass conveyors of people. Like you got to bring them down sort of like 30 guys at a time. So it's going to take them about an hour to bring that many people down.
This is essentially Pierre trying to help.
Okay, no worries, cool. Right.
I mean, look, we need 30 now. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need all of them to arrive at once. We need the whole fleet of shuttles to just drop 6 guys off each at different corners and then head back up and come back.
Okay, so work is being done to secure as much of the perimeter as possible. Okay,
yes, great, awesome.
Dawn, as you're exploring the base of this factory, so effectively the factory itself, as you enter, does appear shut down. Like it's a big, I think about factories, they're big open areas with lots of machinery, and everything is dark. All the machinery is stopped, but you can still hear this sound in the background, and you realize it's coming from somewhere beneath you, like it's echoing up through the floor. You don't spot any stairs down, but you do spot an elevator.
Is it big enough to fit the Mastiff?
Sorry, to fit
The Mastiff?
Ares.
Ares.
Yeah, you could get you couldn't get the Chimera into it, but you could get the 3 of you plus Ares, or 4 of you if Pierre was here as well. Maybe, but probably about. So think of like a regular elevator in a building. You know, it's made for passengers, so probably 10 people.
Okay.
Yeah, but isn't it always the elevators always have like a huge number of people if they're really, really light, because it's like 10 people or 1,000 pounds. And it's like find me 10 people that add up to 1,000 pounds.
Yeah.
So Adrian, is the Lord Commodore coming?
I informed him of the situation and asked him for backup. What form that takes is up to him.
Oh, okay, all right.
So you need to wait about 40 minutes if you want Pierre to be here.
No. I didn't think he was. I didn't know that Pierre was turning around. I thought he was still going to the first factory. Yeah, he's not turning around.
He's got to pass this factory to get to. This one's
okay.
Yeah, the other factory is further up the mountain. This one's lower down the mountain.
I see Dawn like pressing the button to the bottom floor.
It's not just pressing. It's.
Closed door.
I make a call to the local enforcers, like whoever the police here are.
Funny enough, there are no police on Gunmetal City.
I make a call to the local Adeptus. Not Astartes. Arbites. Yeah.
Yes, there is a small Arbites precinct in Gunmetal City.
Yep.
You get this
sounds like the place that would have like a lynch mob rather than like everyone's armed, so everyone's just like, that guy committed a crime. Let's do.
This is Judge Crassus. Go ahead.
Judge, my name is Nero Julius Augustus Bullet. I am a crew member aboard the Hand of Calixis. I'm calling you to report a series of murders that are about to be committed.
Why is this elevator so fucking slow?
As you can hear, the Adeptus Sororitas sister who I am accompanying has uncovered signs of great heresy. I'm sending you the location now. We need law enforcement backup to help clean up what we're about to do here.
I feel like it's a mixture of like Adrian pressing the open door button while Don's pressing the close.
He's just like casually like leaned up against it with his thumb pressing the door open button, waiting
for what? Like I slap his hand down. I was like, what are you doing, Adrian? We're going now.
You know that video of like the guy being like, okay, on the count of 3, open the car door. 1, 2, and they're like, no, you're supposed to wait till I open it with the beeper. Oh man. In the middle of a zombie apocalypse, yeah.
So I'm just telling the job, I'm like, yeah, we're about to kill a bunch of people. We're gonna need someone to come clean this up afterwards.
So if I can direct your attention to roll 20.
Perfect.
So you guys are coming down in an elevator. It descends quite a way beneath the floor of the factory. When it opens up, straight away you are assailed by heat. because the most of this level is gantries and platforms suspended over an active lava flow. Now, this area is filled with people, literally hundreds of people, a lot of which wear like flesh face masks and dirty smocks. A lot of them have chain weapons or auto pistols, and they are all, while chanting, busily loading weapons onto process machinery to basically melt them down. And from what you can see from here, all the weapons are clearly, heretical weapons that, that have been wielded by Chaos in the past, and they're being rendered down into slag, which is being used to fill 4 gigantic metal crucibles. Now, the crucibles also have suspended over them bodies that have been flayed, and so the blood still running from the bodies drops into the molten metal as well. And in fact, the molten metal, like normally molten metal is that sort of white hot color. There's like this sort of red blood-colored tinge that sort of like that swirls in the crucibles as well. So the actual cultists are too numerable to be put on this map, so they are basically everywhere. They are a terrain feature of this environment, and they will count as a horde. But there are 2 figures that you do spot who are watching the things. There are 2 Chaos Space Marines in red power armor. So unfortunately, the token builder I used did have Chaos Space Marines, but they've taken them away and replaced them with only scouts. So I had to just make up red armored scouts, unfortunately. But they are full Chaos Space Marines. So one here on the gantry, another over on the other side, who are overseeing affairs. Their shoulder symbol shows a yellow dragon head. You don't recognize the markings. But they are clearly the ones in charge here. And I will say that like there's enough action and motion going on that nobody immediately notices the door opening.
And I'm not there, right?
You're not there at the moment, no. Okay. You have a moment to do something before all hell breaks loose.
Can we get the Mastiff on the...
I need to let me just find I'll just find a generic dog icon. Give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
Keep talking while I find this.
I mean, for Nero, he turns on his suit's internal audio player to listen to the soundtrack from Doom, starting with "The Only Thing They Fear Is You." And just pulls the heavy boulder up to the nearest Chaos Space Marine, holds down the trigger, and shouts to Adrian, "Stand in front of me!" I don't want to do this shit where I'm in melee all day again.
So I just want to be clear here. If we're going down for Heresy, the armor I would have worn would have been the combat armor. But I just want to make sure that I've got my stats right because I haven't touched anything on my sheet about that stuff. So what happens when you wear the power armor?
The power armor gives you, because you have the light like I do, it gives you plus 10 strength, but like minus 10 agility. Okay. So it makes dodging harder, technically.
Yeah.
And can I use the jetpack while I have this on?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. So that would put my strength at 70 then? Is that right? Is there like a temporary spot on the sheet that I can put this on?
No. You kind of have to just adjust the sheet.
Okay. And what's the armor value of that?
It's 7 AP.
Yep. So 7 armor points.
It's essentially the same as the
Stormtrooper. Okay, so I don't have to change the armor. Okay.
The power armor is mainly because it's sealed, so you don't have to worry about the void suits in space.
Yeah, and has the bonus to.
Oh, so the strength bonus, and that's it. Okay. And you said it removes agility as well.
It's minus 10 or 20.
I don't think so. That's just Nero's like dreadnought armor.
No, the light armor does subtract. The light power armor does subtract agility as well. I have to double check. Hold on a second.
It does increase your average size to hulking.
Does it?
Mm-hmm. But I don't see anything about negative agility in the power power armor section.
Yeah, that's a thing for my armor because it's
it doesn't affect us. Yeah.
So it only increases to 7. Just remind me at the end of the session to take off the 70 strength, then.
Sure.
When I forget about it.
So everybody can have
light power arm does not increase weapon wearer size.
Yeah. Okay.
Plus 10.
That's also a thing for my armor.
So everybody can have a half action. Now, keep in mind there is a horde in here, so effectively anywhere that you are on the not in the elevator, you are in the horde. So you can also attack the horde itself to reduce magnitude, but anywhere else you move, you will basically be attacked by the horde as you go.
What does that normally look like? Out of curiosity.
So effectively, if you're in a horde, so a horde gets to make as many ranged attacks as its magnitude. So in this case, it's a magnitude 50 horde, so it will get 5 ranged attacks on its turn. And anytime you are in the area, when it's the horde's turn, they will attack 1 melee attack against every single person in range. So if you're not in the elevator, on the horde's turn, every character gets attacked, and Ares as well.
Okay, so let's talk strategy. I absolutely cannot get caught in melee in this fight. I'm gonna need somebody to move ahead of me in every direction that is ahead of me.
Well, I was thinking of drinking the Kool-Aid and
Going ham.
Yeah, please do. Yeah. My intention is to strike down one of the Chaos Space Marines as quickly as possible and then be like, who's your god now? Bow down! Like, intimidate them.
Well, that's asking for trouble.
I could just scream, the Inquisition is here!
Honestly, I don't think you should leave the elevator, Nero. You should just stand back.
I agree. It's just that moving takes actions, and I want to use those actions to shoot people.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
so I need people to move in front of me.
Yeah.
I am going to probably jetpack over to this.
I'll tell you what, I will swap Adrian and Nero.
That sounds great.
There you go.
So I need Ares and Adrian to block for me.
Yeah, and then Sister Dawn can go all the way to the other side and start chopping up fools.
So our first chess move is to castle. Then we're gonna follow up with a double bong. What's it called?
Double bong.
You haven't seen that, the new one?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Are we able to take a break real quick?
Yeah, it's
We're right at that
time.
Yep.
We'll be back for the second half, including our beloved captain, who is stuck in a car on 2 phones at the same time. When we return, there will be a lot of bodies hitting the floor. It's just a question of who will outkill the other.
I mean, Pierre at this point is just getting his acquisitions done.